Hi, everyone. This is Charmaine Vega, also known as Mama Vega. And in this nutrition education presentation, I want to present some vegetables, and one of them is considered either a fruit or a vegetable, depending on how you look at it. But I want to present those that you may have heard about, you may not have heard about, but this is the time of year when they're most prevalent. We're coming up on the fall season, so this is when these particular ones you will see that they have the most nutrients available for you. However, they are available all year long, but I want to present them now in case you want to make it into a soup or something of that nature. And I'll give you various options that you can use. One of my other presentations, I presented to you fennel, black seed, and Celtic sea salt. And those are things that if you find that other video, you would be able to look at that one and take some of those ingredients and add it to these ingredients and make it even more beneficial for you. Because what I want to present to you is what's going to be good for you for health purposes, boosting your immune system, because like I said, we're coming up on the fall, which is winter. So people are starting to make a lot of soups and things of that nature. And this is going to help prevent you from getting the flu or virus or bacteria. And even if you do get it, it can help you, I should say, where it's not going to be as devastating to you as it would have been if you're not boosting your immune system. So one of the things I like to say is more than a mask. So if this is a situation where we're still in COVID, I say that what you have to do, everyone, whether you wear a mask or you don't wear a mask or whatever your position is on that, you definitely need to boost your immune system, because if your immune system is compromised, you then have a higher likelihood that you're going to get ill or sick or give something to someone else. So these are some things that you may see in the grocery store, but you are looking at them and you're like, well, what is that and how do I use it? So that's what I want to present to you here today. And one of the first ones I will find on my slide over here that I'm going to present to you is going to be the rhubarb. So here we have a rhubarb, and this is what it looks like. If you look over here and you see these stalks right here on the right-hand side, that's what it looks like when it's in the store. It's usually bundled like this and it's laying down. However, when it's growing, this is what it looks like when it's growing. And you see you have the red stalks here. Those are the parts that's edible. You should never, ever, 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 ever eat the leaves. The leaves are very toxic. And you can see right here, I say only you have a 1, 2, 3, the fourth paragraph. I'll go down to the last one. And it says, only the stalks are edible. Rhubarb leaves are quite poisonous, and if eaten, can cause weakness, vomiting, coma, diarrhea, stomach pain, difficulty breathing, burning in the mouth and throat, kidney stones, and seizures. So you can see it's extremely toxic. However, the stems are edible and very delicious. They're very, very good. I used to live in Minnesota, and when I lived in Minnesota, because it's a cooler climate, that was what we did in the wintertime. And we had a tendency to always make strawberry rhubarb pie, which is also delicious. And I still make strawberry rhubarb pie, but when I make it, I'll make some that have the regular flour, and then I make some that's gluten-free for those friends who I have that would prefer to have something that's gluten-free. And you see my first paragraph up here, I explain to you that, some people say it's a fruit, some people will say it's a vegetable, but either way, it's sweet and it's usually used in desserts. So this is a fall dessert that you can make that's very delicious. And this particular vegetable or fruit, whichever one you want to call it, goes back to 2700 BC, and it was used medicinally. It was originally used just for medicine. And you can see why, because of some of the health benefits. And again, I emphasize the stalks only, because it is good for your gut, good for your lungs, your liver, intestinal problems. It helps to lower cholesterol. It also helps with weight loss, hot flashes. It's high in fiber, the stems, and you'll see that in one of the other vegetables that I will have is that they are high in fiber. It has calcium, vitamin C, and vitamin C is what also helps to boost your immune system. So you can see, because it is high in vitamin C, it does boost your immune system. And it also has potassium, and potassium is good for like leg cramps and things of that nature. So you can see here that it has a lot of benefits for you. And coming upon the fall season, you can see that this is one of those things you can add as a dessert that you may not have been aware of. So this is something you may want to just give it a try. Just remember, you're only going to do the stems. That's it, or the stalks. You can either call them stems or you can call them stalks. But those are the only parts of this particular fruit or vegetable, depending on who you talk to, that you're going to use. Okay, the next one that I want to show you is going to be mushrooms. And we see mushrooms all the time. And usually the ones on the right are ones that you will see quite often. And these are called baby bellas. And that's baby portobello mushrooms. They just use bella for short, but it's portobello mushrooms. But these are the little ones. You see the larger portobello mushrooms, where oftentimes people will grill them and use them in plant-based or vegetarian or vegan. Instead of a meat patty, they'll use that in a burger bun or something like that. So that's a substitute for the meat in a hamburger or turkey burger or whatever, but you can use that. In the middle here, what I did is I had made a soup using the oyster mushrooms, which are the ones that are to the left. And they're very pretty, you know, if you were to see them in the store, and they're very nutritious, very beneficial to you. And you'll see when I get over there to it. But they grow on a tree. And a lot of times you'll see mushrooms and they're growing in the ground. These particular mushrooms, they actually grow on the side of a tree trunk. And sometimes they may be in on a tree that's rotting or something of that nature. But they are very delicious. Parts of them are kind of like a little rubbery, but when you cook them, they soften up. And these are the third largest cultivated mushrooms in the world. China is the world leader in oyster mushroom production. How about that? And the health benefit of these mushrooms is these mushrooms are rich in vitamin C and B complex, the B complex, in addition to protein. So they also have protein in them, which is between 1.6 and 2.5%. How about that? So you have mushrooms that are good in that. And sometimes, or a lot of times, you'll see people where they say mushrooms are very good for having vitamin D, which these have vitamin D as well. They do. They're very good for you. They also have some of the mineral salts that you can, that's beneficial to you. So they have those qualities, if you will, or characteristics that are very good. They also help to reduce inflammation, lower cholesterol, improve bone health, prevent diabetes. Again, another one for boosting the immune system. I already said vitamin D. It also increases your oxygen level, helps with weight loss, just like the previous one, and also is known to prevent cancer. And I wanted to give you some ideas on how you can use mushrooms that you may not have thought about. You may have, but may not have. But you can take the mushrooms, add a little white wine, garlic, and parsley. And the parsley would be to garnish them, you know, more so. And then you can use that as a topping. Or if you're eating meat, you can add them, you know, to the meat. You can have them where they're roasted, put them in a soup, make a frittata, which frittatas are usually made with eggs, almost like an omelet. So you can add them into an omelet. You can add them into a stew. You can mix them with risotto, teriyaki mushroom sauce, or you can do it where it's like almost like it's a French dish that's almost like a pizza, but it's open face, you know. So it's very good for doing those type of things as far as ideas of how you can use it. You don't necessarily have to use them that way, but that's an idea for you of something that you can do. So I wanted to show you that, and I hope you like that one. But what I also want to show you is my next one. And my next one that I want to show you is I'm going to show you a video. And on this video, it's going to be one that's going to be able to, it's a free video, and it's on 3 different ways that you can cut and prepare celery root. And I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but this is very delicious. And so here's this free video that I want to show you. And here I'm going to play that one for you. Whoops, right there. You see cut those roots. Make sure. That. Look at that. Beautiful. Very beautiful. And so now you see how you were able to do a celery root. But what I want to show you now is what you can do with the celery root. I showed you how you prepare it because that's what that was. That's how you prepare the celery root. Now I want to show you what you can do with it and some of the nutritional information on the celery root. On the right-hand side, you'll see this is the celery that you usually see in the store, which is the top part of the celery root. The bottom part of the celery is actually what's over on the left, and this is how the celery root looks in the store. You'll see it with some of the root vegetables, and they usually have it up on the shelf. Very, very, very nutritious for you. And the history of the celery root is it goes all the way back to the Egyptian and the Roman days. Again, this was something that was used for medicinal purposes, just like we saw with the other things that we looked at when we looked at the rhubarb, right? Medicinal purposes. So you can see that there are some things that are natural that helps to boost your immune system that you can actually eat. What's also interesting about the celery root and the way it was cut, where you cut it like that, there's another vegetable that's a root type thing that looks very similar to it, which is the jicama. And the same things that you did with the celery root are the same things that you can do with the jicama. And you can see the different ways you cut it up. But let's look at some of the health benefits. This is considered a superfood, okay, because it cleanses your kidneys, which helps to flush out all the toxins in your body. So it's good for your kidneys, your liver, and it also has natural sodium in it. Sodium or is something that you still need for your body, but you can see that there's a natural way to get it, not the table salt that you have. If you look at one of the other videos that I did, you'll see that Celtic sea salt is not the same as regular table salt because it's not highly processed. It has all between 82 and 84 of the natural minerals that's needed for your body, whereas regular table salt is kind of processed out. In this particular one, this also has a natural sodium content in it, which is very good for you. It's good to reduce your stiff joints if you have like problems with that. It also is very good, rids the body of kidney stones, improves your blood health. It's considered an antioxidant, maintains blood sugar, which is good for diabetics. It's anti-cancer, just like one of the other ones that we just talked about. Boosts your immune system, which all these do. It's a diuretic, so that means a diuretic means it's going to help you go to the bathroom, so it's going to help to flush out your system so you don't have a toxic buildup in your system. So if you're eating certain meats and foods that take a longer time to digest, if you add it with something like this is going to help it go through your system better, and you would still have the fiber like we already previously had. And if you use the tops of the celery, that means you're going to have added fiber, and it's going to help your body as well without adding a whole bunch of calories to it. It helps reduce weight or weight loss, which is what we talked about in the other one, and it prevents cataracts. It also assists with lowering cholesterol. So look at all the things that it does. And how I found out about this is I have a very close friend where she's from Greece, and she was making it in one of her soups, one of the Greek soups that she makes. And I was like, oh, what is that? I didn't know about it. And when I tasted it, it was just awesome. It was delicious. I'm going to show you down here. I give you some ideas of how you can use the celery root, as well as how you can potentially do something like jicama or some of your other ones. You usually do potatoes or some of the more common ones that you would think of as a root vegetable, but you don't think that you have, can do the same thing with this. So you can, any of those root vegetables, including this other little one that you see over here, which is more like a yucca. But anyway, getting back to the recipe ideas, which any other root vegetables you can do, you can add parsnips to it, and you can make like latkes. And what latkes are, it's a Jewish pancake. So that's what they call a Jewish pancake. But instead of using flour or just potatoes, which those are usually made with, you can take the celery root and you can cook it down just like you would a potato, and you can add parsnips to it, which is another root vegetable, and you can add those two together and make it into a pancake. So you can make a regular pancake, but instead of using the flour, you can use these particular vegetables. You can also make it like you're going to do like mashed potatoes. And you saw how he cut them, the root itself, where it was in strips, almost like the julienne, where he said it was julienne. You can see what you can do is take that and turn it into coleslaw. The cubed ones, you can roast them. You can add a little bit of cumin, or you can, and then you can add a little bit of parsley to it. You can make lentils, and then you can steam these a little bit separately and then add them into the lentils. So that's another way. The lentils are very high in protein, so then you can add the celery root to that and make that even more nutritious. Another thing you can do is you can eat it cold if you would like to. So you can steam them a little and then add a green apple to it, a little bit of fennel. And fennel is something we talked about in one of the previous videos that I did. You can substitute it in a potato salad because you saw how you made them cubed. So instead of using the potatoes, you can use these, give it a different flavor, or use some of these and some of the potatoes. So you can do a combination. And that's where you get different, I call it notes or flavors, where you get the high notes, the low notes, and you add all these different textures and flavors, even if you were to make a potato salad. And because they're all white in color, no one would really even know that you've kind of mixed it up, and you're giving them all kinds of additional nutrients and minerals that they wouldn't have thought about. And it's very healthy and beneficial to them because you can see it's boosting your immune system. It's helping with weight loss. It also has antioxidants. So when you're adding these things, by adding the different combinations, you're increasing what the nutrients are that you're going to get from the natural ingredients that are in the vegetables themselves. And so that's why I like to do that. So you can see by doing these different things, you can add a lot of other nutrients and beneficial things to help your immune system, boosting your immune system, boosting the nutrients that you're getting, helping to prevent diabetes, helping to prevent you from getting cold and flu, and keeping that down, especially that we're coming upon the winter time here. So I wanted to present those things to you as options for you to look at and to explore so that you can say, well, let me give that a try and see how this is going to taste. And again, you also have another option for a dessert rather than your regular dessert. You can take the strawberries and rhubarb and add them together and make a very delicious, healthy dessert for yourself that's also going to prevent some of the onset of some of the other diseases. And it doesn't say that what it's going to do is totally preventing all of those things, but it will definitely help. Okay, so that's something else that you have there. And then we're going to go on to my next slide. And my next slide is where I do my disclaimer. Those of you who've watched my things before, you know I always have this part included. And that is the information contained in this presentation is meant to serve to get you started in connecting the dots so you can do more research on your own. Just dig a little deeper and find out what works for you. All information, content, and material of this presentation is for informational purposes only and are not to serve as a substitute for consultation, diagnosis, and/or medical treatment of your qualified physician or your healthcare provider. The information contained in this presentation is compiled from a variety of sources and is not considered complete. Therefore, it is not meant to be a scientific analysis in any way, shape, or form. Information is subject to change without notice. If you have a medical emergency, call your doctor or 911 immediately. And I present this to you because remember, we also have in this one where I'm telling you, do not eat the leaves. The leaves of the rhubarb are very poisonous, so it is only the stems that you can eat. That is the only thing you'll generally find in the store, but if you come across some in the store that has the leaves, you are to get rid of the leaves and only use the stems. That is the only thing you're going to use. Okay, hopefully you've enjoyed what I've presented here thus far. And I want to give you another thing where I told you that the information that I presented to you is royalty free. And even the video that I showed you, that video is a free video. So the video is royalty free as well as all the other things. And everything that's been presented here is I've written it, narrated it, videography, I've done the editing, and Charmaine Vega, Mama Vega, and Now Chewing This are all trademarks of Mama Vega. And if you enjoyed what you saw here, I would like you to like it, share it with your friends. If you have any questions or if there's something that I did not present, by all means, let me know. Let me know that there's something else that you would like to know about it. And you can click on the bottom, you can like it, you can share, you can comment, down below. And I'll look at it. You can even send an email. There's emails and stuff available where you can send that and ask me additional questions. I like questions. I like answering questions. If I can't answer the question, what I will do is I will contact someone who can give me the answer so that I can provide you with an answer. But I always, always, always tell all my clients that what I want them to do is do a little bit of research on their own. The reason I tell you to do that is because everybody's body is different. What one person can eat, another person cannot. What one person doesn't like, another person does. So we're all individuals. So this is not one size fits all. This is one size fits you. One size fits another one. So it's not the same for everybody. But like Mama Vega always says, now chew on this.